In the quaint town of Ravenswood, nestled amidst the misty woods, stood an old, decrepit house that had been vacant for decades. The townsfolk whispered of its dark history and warned of the evil that lurked within its walls. But when Sophie Hawthorne inherited the property from a distant relative, her curiosity overpowered the tales of terror, and she decided to move in and claim her legacy. Excitement mixed with trepidation as Sophie explored the house, which seemed frozen in time, its wooden floors creaking beneath her feet. While exploring the attic, she stumbled upon a dusty, ornate mirror hidden beneath a tattered cloth. As she unveiled the mirror's surface, she noticed its peculiar design, a twisted, darkened frame that seemed to beckon her closer. Gazing into the mirror, Sophie's reflection appeared as expected, but her heart skipped a beat when she noticed a faint figure lurking behind her own reflection. This doppelganger wore a malevolent grin that sent shivers down her spine. Trying to dismiss it as a trick of the light, Sophie looked away, only to find the ominous image still lingering in the corners of her vision. Night after night, she returned to the attic, drawn to the sinister allure of the mirror. The malevolent reflection grew stronger with each visit, manifesting into a sinister presence that started to control her actions. Strange occurrences began to plague Sophie's life, objects moving on their own, eerie whispers echoing in empty rooms, and ominous shadows lurking at the corners of her vision. Her friends noticed the change in Sophie as she became more distant, and her once warm and cheerful demeanor turned cold and distant. She tried to share her fears with them, but the words seemed trapped within her throat. The sinister doppelganger now spoke through her, using her voice to torment her loved ones. As the mirror's influence deepened, Sophie's grip on reality slipped away. She saw herself committing terrible acts that she could not control, hurting those she cared about, saying words she didn't mean, and becoming a mere puppet in the hands of her malevolent reflection. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, and she no longer knew who she truly was. Desperation set in as she sought ways to break free from the mirror's curse. With trembling hands, she researched ancient tomes and sought the help of local occultists. All attempts proved futile as the malevolent doppelganger tightened its grip on her soul. One fateful night, the town's retired librarian, Mr. Abernathy, approached Sophie with a somber expression. He revealed that the mirror had a dark history. It was an artifact of an ancient curse that trapped malevolent souls and fed on their host's innocence and light. Those who looked into it risked losing themselves forever, falling prey to their darkest desires. A glimmer of hope emerged when Mr. Abernathy mentioned a possible solution, a forgotten ritual that could sever the mirror's bond with its victim. The ritual required immense courage and a strong will, but it was the only chance to save Sophie from her haunting reflection. With Mr. Abernathy's guidance, Sophie prepared for the ritual, her heart pounding in her chest. She stood before the menacing mirror, staring into the abyss of her twisted doppelganger. As she began the ritual, the malevolent presence fought back, unleashing a torrent of sinister visions and tormenting voices. But Sophie refused to yield. She summoned all her inner strength, memories of love and happiness, and memories of who she once was before the mirror's influence took over. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she fought for control, defying the malevolent doppelganger's attempts to break her spirit. In a climactic struggle, Sophie recited the final incantation, and a blinding light enveloped the room. The mirror trembled, its dark frame cracking under the weight of the curse. At last, the malevolent doppelganger screamed in agony, its grip loosening as it was banished back into the cursed mirror. When the light faded, Sophie collapsed to the floor, drained but victorious. She had reclaimed her life from the malevolent reflection that had haunted her. The cursed mirror, now shattered, lay powerless. In the following days, Sophie slowly returned to her old self, but the ordeal had left scars on her psyche. She moved on from the house, leaving behind the sinister past that haunted its walls. But the chilling memory of the malevolent doppelganger would forever remind her of the thin line between light and darkness, and the evil that could reside within us all. The house in Ravenswood remained vacant, its secrets buried within the ruins of the shattered mirror. The townsfolk still spoke of the haunting tale, a cautionary reminder of the dangers of delving into the unknown. And Sophie, haunted yet resilient, carried on with her life, forever changed by the horrors she had faced in the mirror's reflection.